You know, it's crazy when you got stuff to do, you come out, you go to put your shoes on, and Gibbs has chewed them to pieces. And I literally have like no shoelace left to even tie them. So, yeah, he's done worked my farm shoes over. Little stinker. Hey everybody, good morning. It's John. Welcome back to the farm. Well, it's a big day today. It's a big day for me anyway. Getting a new piece of equipment and I'm pretty excited about it. We're going to say goodbye to the old L3301 here. And here shortly we'll be taking delivery of a new piece of equipment that I'll be showing you and giving you a quick walk around. So for now, let's get this puppy ready to get loaded out. Well, that's probably the last ride. Ooh. Other than getting her on the trailer, I don't know if I'll do that or if the hauler will do it, but I want to just note the rear end of this tractor. And when the next one pulls up here, it's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, you recognize at this point I'm getting a new tractor, and I'm sure this is not going to be some big surprise. I love this tractor, L3301. My only complaints with it is I didn't like the R4 tires. So you can see these are your standard R4s here. And you know, had some issues sometimes with the weight of the tractor, just, you know, not being able, it's got plenty of power, but getting that power to the ground and utilizing this tractor to its full potential. But 100% the L series, love it. Open cab. Y'all know I've have issues with allergies. I'm always snucking, and so like right now. So basically what I've done is I've gone and upgraded to a slightly larger tractor, just slightly larger. I mean, I still only have 10.5 acres of property here, and I found myself almost getting a tractor that probably would have been overkill. But you know, when the next tractor shows up, I'll talk through it. It's going to be a lot different though. So anyway, we're just standing by waiting for delivery. Oh, by the way, it is Saturday morning. Tomorrow is Father's Day, which I didn't really realize until like yesterday. So all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. Here it is. This is the Kubota L3560 limited edition. I got the LA555 loader on it. Now, one thing about this tractor in the limited edition, it's not like you're getting Eddie Bauer or what's the other high-end, you know, King Ranch or something like that. Sorry, I'm a Ford guy.
The Rubicon?
The Rubicon, you know, anything like that if you're a Jeep person. Limited edition in this instance, they removed some features from some of their Grand L series tractors to get the price point down. So basically this is like the bridge between my L3301 and going to a larger Grand L. It's a lot fancier than the 3301. Obviously I have a cab, and I was talking earlier, my allergies. When I mow the field out here and the grass pollens in, I tried mowing 2 weeks ago and could only mow for about 20 minutes before I had to get off the tractor. I was just suffering that bad, and if I stay out there my eyes will like blister and turn to jelly. It's really freaking disgusting. So I'm hoping the cab helps. Also winter, summer when it's blazing hot or freezing cold, it is climate controlled, so there's AC and there's heat. You know, this doesn't have cruise control. There's a lot of fancy stuff that I'll probably do another video on. This is just going to be a quick walk around because I have to learn how to use it. There's a lot of functionality in the cab of the tractor as far as the computer goes, and certain settings and how it'll automatically do some things for you, and instead of you having to worry about it manually. But I did note on my 3301, I was not happy with the R4 tires and the ability to get the power that the tractor could produce to the ground. So that was something that I thought, you know, maybe if I had R1 tires. Now I did go with the R4s again. This is a considerably larger tire than what was on the 3301. And you notice it's a different lug pattern. This is a Kubota produced tire. This is not, you know, whatever they were using before. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But you got some splits and lugs. A lot more weight on this tractor. So I'm hoping, hope is my strategy, because I looked at these tractors with the R1s compared to the lug pattern here, and I just didn't think I was getting any benefit from going with the R1s compared to this tire. I mean, outside of it being a slightly more narrow tire, I can't say the lug pattern was any more aggressive, so went with these. The other thing I asked the dealership to do was put these out as wide as they could get them. So they're 2 inches wider than what would normally come on this configuration, and it's a noticeable difference to me. And I think it'll be a noticeable feel on the hillside, especially when I'm running over things and you feel like you're going to tip and go downhill. And I've scared myself in the 3301 a couple times. Once to the point that I had to dump the loader bucket to keep myself from tipping over. That was an empty loader bucket I was mowing anyway. A lot better 3-point hitch configuration. You know, some of this stuff, you know, you got some ability to telescope these, so the manhandling of the implements for me to get everything lined up is not going to be quite as difficult. And there's pins here now. This is just going to be so much easier to configure. You know, same with moving this arm up and down. A few more grease points, no big deal. So you still got the drawbar, which I rarely use. Now, one thing about this tractor, it's 28 horsepower at the PTO. So my 3301, I think, was 29 or 30 at the PTO, and I run a 5-foot cutter on it. Kept my 5-foot cutter. It does just fine. I don't think I'm out in the field mowing for a crazy amount of time. I mean, I could probably mow that entire pasture in half a day. Normally I don't do it because of the allergies and stuff. If you ever saw me put diesel in my other tractor, I had to stand on the front tire, and the fill cap was right in the middle of the tractor. So now the diesel fill is here, which is amazing. Now, I am going to note one thing I don't like, and I said the same thing on the RTV, is there's no trash screen in this. So when you're putting diesel in it, you know, make sure you clean out from around it and don't let trash get down in your diesel fill. Now, the door does open on both sides. This is meant to be an emergency exit in case tractor goes over or anything like that. They don't put a step here. You can put a step here if you would like, but your So hydrostatic, so automatic. The pedals on this side, so that's the reason they really don't want you coming in and out. Plus you got your stick, so your stick for the 3-point, or for the front end loader. The front end loader is a little more capable than the last one. However, I could lift round bells. I mean, I thought the loader was a perfect size for what we need around here, so I didn't go. I think you could get the 805 loader on this, which has a 72-inch bucket. I just didn't think we needed that kind of capacity. Now this is like a 38 horsepower tractor, I think. Might be a little less. I'll have to check the specs. I'll probably put a comment at the bottom. But yeah, quick attach front end loader. So I still have my pallet forks, which is a great tool. I still have my cutter, and I still have my land plane. So all the implements I had for the 3301 are just going to roll over to this tractor. And yeah, it's I mean, I'm excited. I know Amanda's very excited.
Woohoo!
I can see the look on her face right now. So I also got a radio installed. It comes with pretty much everything plumbed in. I mean, it's got speakers and the whole 9 yards. So Bluetooth stereo, so I can actually answer my phone on it. Now I have seen some comments about the weather stripping. Those are a little bit older videos, so I don't know if there's still an issue with some of this weather stripping coming undone. We'll see how that plays out. One big difference in this tractor and the 3301 is there's no clutch on this tractor. So where the clutch would have been on the 3301 is now your brakes. So, you know, you got your right and left brakes. You can join them. Emergency brake is right there. It does have a suspension seat on it. The seat does turn like a quarter left and a quarter right if you're looking over your back shoulder. So there's a little pedal right here. You can tilt the steering down. I don't have my little roller knob on this yet, which I think I'll have to add back because I really enjoy it. The windows do open for ventilation. You know, if it's a nice day out and you don't want to run the system. Back window opens as well. I only have a wiper on the front window. I don't have a wiper or no window defrost on the back, so that's something we'll sort out. You know, you can turn these air vents here to defrost your window and whatnot in the wintertime should you need to. The pedal here is a lot different. This one's metal. The other one was kind of plastic, but it's seems to be well made. And they tell me I do not have to crawl up underneath the tractor to grease this anymore. So that's good because it's not necessarily a pain in the behind, but if I don't have to lay on the ground to grease something, that's just one more bonus. So 3-speed, high, medium, low, 4-wheel drive, which I just disengaged. And you can step it up and step it down so you have a high and low for each range. You can do automatic throttle advance, so if you push this button and a tractor's at idle speed and you start giving it throttle, it's going to automatically throttle up to support how fast you're going with the gear and range you're in and whatnot. And which is kind of cool if you're just moving around doing stuff. It does have a throttle up for the loader, so if I'm doing loader work, like I'm going to lift something, or if for some reason you're just setting idle, the tractor's throttled down, you can push a little button here and it'll throttle the tractor up and you can run your loader without messing with the throttle advance. And when you're using the auto throttle and all that, you don't have to worry about this. This is your normal throttle here. You still have your bucket lock. You got your 3-point up and down. There's spots here for third function if you put it in the back. I didn't get third function on this. There's no third function up front for like a grappler or anything. It's just money I wasn't ready to spend. And you got your work light switches here, wiper switch up here. Here's your AC controls. There's the radio I have to figure out. You know, here's your HVAC stuff back here for your intake and all that. So yeah, pretty slick. Like I said, I'll get some time on this. It does have a horn as well. I guess it's electric, so it's not going to beep for me right now. And then you got your cup holders back here. One thing to note, there's no toolbox in this tractor. How I had the little gray toolbox on the back of my other one that I did keep wrenches and stuff in for adjusting the 3-point. You don't have that here. But I mean, you have a nice big open cab. You can get in, get out real easy. It's not really a step over here. You know, so far,
Use rabbits and turtles.
Yeah, that's your step up and step down. So if you're in medium and you're going and you need to just slow it down a bit, just hit that down and it'll throttle you down some. And then it's actually kind of slick. You got your light switches here, so it's not on your column anymore. And there's some working lights. It still has the regen. Just like the 3301, you have your emissions controls. So on it, every 10 hours, it was supposed to go through a regen where it basically has a particle capture system in there. And then it, using heat, it burns off those particles. And it's supposed to save the environment and all that good stuff. A lot of people don't want to buy tractors these days that have the regen, or you have to put DEF in. The diesel exhaust fluid. Now this does not take DEF, it does the regen. But on my 3301, I was talking to him yesterday, I run it like pretty much wide open all the time. Like I never run it at low RPMs, because one, the hydrostatic transmission will whine pretty loud when you have it in low RPMs, and it's meant to work. I mean, it's not like you're gonna blow the engine up. And as I run it at those higher RPMs, and it just, I think I went like 50 hours between regens, because it just regened like maybe 4 or 5 hours ago, and I hadn't seen it do it in a long time. So it's, you know, it is what it is. It's just something you deal with, and if you're working your tractor, you just throttle it up a little bit until the regen's happy and keep on working. Regen does its thing, and then you go on about your business. It doesn't really impact anything. I don't have a problem with it. Would I be happy without it? Absolutely. I think everybody would. But, it's the game we have to play. So bigger tires, just a beefier machine. The other thing I will note, if you come look right up here, is there's a guard right here. So I broke this in my last tractor. I hit a stump and snapped that thing right in half. Now, I think it was a defective part. When I looked at the center of that, you could see where it had cracked and was rusted, and there was only a little bit of good metal holding that thing together. So I just, you know, all the right circumstances, I snapped that thing right in half. Anyway, there's guards for that. I don't even have to grease those now, which is also good. There are a couple grease points under the front. But yeah, it's, you know, just little things. The engine is configured a little bit different. One, this has AC, the air cleaner's back towards the back, but it's got a lot of lights. I like the work lights on it. Now, those do not appear to be LEDs. Now, another thing I like about this loader configuration, from what I've seen on the bigger loader, is on the bigger loader, they like had a lot of your connections for the loader were out here. Like they were coming out of the loader mount, and they were all outside of the tractor. Here, you know, you got this cable that keeps your hoses over, you know, so it's all kind of out of the way, contained inside the tractor, so I don't have to worry about hanging those on anything. Quick attach, glad that's standard. But yeah, it is a 3-cylinder diesel. If you go up to the next model, the 4560 or 4060, I think it is, you get a 4-cylinder engine. People say the 4-cylinder's a little smoother. I mean, Colt 45, I don't know what smooth is. This one seems to, I mean, the 3301 I think had a 3-cylinder diesel. I never had any problems with it. I expect this one to run just fine. So there we are. That's just a quick walk around. Initial opinions from the quality. You know, it's Kubota. I think it's a well-made machine. It's tight. It's, you know, things will loosen up. Like the stick for the front end loader, it's pretty tight right now. But as I use it, those things will wear in, and it'll, you know, you'll just get used to operating the machine. So yeah, I'm curious though if the extra weight's going to give me what I think, the extra width in the rear end, and the lugs, the tread on those tires. So like I said, with the 3301, if I'm turning uphill, I have to put the tractor in full-wheel drive to get it to turn around, because the tires will just spin. So we'll see. Well, I'm out here on the old farm doing some cutting. Taking a little bit of getting used to. Took me a few minutes to get everything hooked up, but much easier than I'd anticipated. So So just wanted to do a quick check-in. It's nice and cool in here, and as you can tell, my face isn't running off. Haven't sneezed once, so I'm going to call that a small victory at this point for the allergies. Grass is probably, I don't know, 3.5 foot tall. Going through a patch of goldenrods here. Now there were some trees removed in this spot. It's a little bumpy. I mean, I am getting used to the tractor itself. It's considerably different than driving the 3301. Man, the birds are out here in force. I don't know if you can see them zooming around there, but I must be stirring up a mess of bugs because I've never seen these birds. These are like, what, barn swallows or something? And there are just dozens of them out here going to town. So it's providing me some entertainment. Yeah, quieter than working the 3301. I'm just knocking out a little patch here so I can work around this big brush pile. So yeah, so far so good. I'm just taking my time. I got it in low, and we're just inching along here. I'm mowing some stuff that I haven't mowed yet. So anyway, just wanted to do a quick check-in. I did take the bucket off, although I wish I had it on a little while ago because I found a big limb that was hiding. I don't think it was actually, yeah, there's one right down there. Fell out of that elm tree. Not a big deal. We'll get it all worked out here. But yeah, it's different running this tractor. It's different enough that I'd say it's a learning curve. And there's still features on this thing I have no idea what they do. But anyway, we'll get there. Patch right through here that I mowed, man, about a month ago, that I need to go back over, because you see this really green stuff right out here, that's goldenrod, and if I let that keep going, it's going to get out of control, and then it goes to seed and it's just a mess. So no real problems. I mean, it is bumpy out here, bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. I got some big limbs. I don't know what kind of tree this is right here. It is about 6 hours of mowing. The pasture's done. It needed it. It needed it weeks ago. As you can tell, fresh as I was when I started this morning. Now I did stop for about an hour to have some lunch and help Amanda plant some berry bushes. So, got some dirt on it. Cutter worked just fine. I had the bucket off. I haven't even done anything with the bucket yet except move a couple limbs. Pigs were rubbing on it. So they were enjoying it while I was mowing. Well, I guess a couple things I don't like. Overall, it's great. I'm getting used to it. It is rough. Even with the suspension seat there, it's a heavy tractor. I noticed some situations I was in today that if I would have been on the 3301 would have been very scary, because that tractor was very, it just felt like it was going over all the time. You know, you get used to it, you learn how to hold on, and I knew where all my trouble spots were as well, so you know, I could negotiate those. That was my first full pasture mowing since having all the clearing done. So there's some potholes out there now, and it's bumpy. Bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. I think I'm gonna have to bring a disc in and just start discing areas and trying to put my land plane on them and smooth them out, because it was pretty brutal. The seat was catching on a little bend in the back, you know, as I'm So I'm bobbing up and down as the suspension's going, and it would catch and make a loud popping sound. I eventually moved the seat forward a little bit, seemed to solve that problem. Shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. Wasn't uncomfortable when I moved the seat forward, so no big deal. The hydraulic lock here, I could see my leg is touching that almost the whole time. I could see that being an issue. At some point I'm going to have that locked or something, or it's going to unlock itself or lock itself, whatever the case may be, and I'll be like, oh my god, my hydraulics aren't working, and it'll just be because I flipped that over. Radio was fine. I think the tires are fine. Definitely could tell a weight difference. I found myself in a couple positions where one of the front tires would be off the ground, you know, because there's some spots out here. So definitely a lot different from that standpoint. Tractor felt a lot more stable, a little bit rougher, but you know, with the state of my pasture, I'm not going to blame all that on the tractor. I'm just used to the 3301 right now, and the 3560 is just going to take some getting used to. AC worked great. I noticed as the sun was starting to go down here and my windows got dusty, I found myself a couple times where it was hard to see what I was doing. So I'm gonna have to figure something out for that. I mean, I obviously have a washer and a wiper up front, nothing in the back. So I don't know if maybe some tint. If anybody out there has dealt with that, you know, just let me know. I mean, I'm up for all kinds of suggestions. First day, it was a long day too. I can't blame anything on the tractor. Now, I did find myself at times reaching down for my old controls. Like I want to lift the cutter and I'm reaching down. One time I throttled back. There's a learning curve there as well. I'm not in love with the joystick for the loader, but it's you know, once again, it's just something I'm going to have to get used to. Learning that I have a tilt column, and because I'll go to get out and it's like, holy shit, why is it so tight? Oh, let me tilt the wheel up. So that's taking some getting used to as well. You know, you step on this little pedal here and the wheel tilts down. I don't really like the cup holder. There's no 12-volt outlet, so there's a spot for one. I figured it would have it, and it doesn't. Just got a plug in it. So that's another one I'll have to look up there. But I'd use one tissue the whole day. I mean, that's unheard of. I'm telling you, if you saw me the last time I mowed, it was brutal. And I was just hanging it up. Figure I'm not going to mow until it gets really, really hot. And the grass pollen's gone, maybe right after a rain. But it was nice, and there was times I could just see all the crud flying around outside, and I'm like, man, I don't have to huff that. I'll do probably a more extensive review when I get some hours on it. Of course, I got to change the HST filter, the transmission filter at 50 hours. So maybe at that point, I mean, 50 hours, it'll take me a little bit to get there. I'm at 6 or 7 hours right now. And then do some things with my land plane, you know, not just the cutter. This thing run that cutter just fine. I'm actually really happy with the way it handled it. All right, I'm going to leave y'all right there. If you own one of these machines, or if you have something similar, if you got any thoughts, any comments, I mean, let me know. I mean, there's a whole lot of tractors in this line. This is like the bottom of the line. So if you have another version, yeah, let me know what you think about it. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and y'all be good.